Hi, I'm Sasy Scarborough, and today this is just a quick video about inventory. It's not about cleaning your inventory necessarily, because that's just a task I don't even want to go into right now, but it's more about sharing some tips and tricks on how to utilize the functions of your inventory. The first very important one is second inventory. If you go down here to the settings tab, you'll see the functions that you have. A new inventory window is Control Shift I. Now, when you do that, if you have an inventory like mine, it will lock it up. So I sort of opened one earlier because I would have just frozen for a few seconds, or minutes, or hours, or whatever. So you can also see that there are quite a lot of functions here as well. Sort by name, most recent items, which I do. Folders always by name, system folders to the top, because when you have your system folders you like them all here. It's much easier for me anyway. The search by creator function is actually really handy as well. We've all tended to just sort of blank out on a store name, but you might remember the designer's name, so you can tap that in and all items made by them will come up. Also, it's really good if you are a creator, you can actually put your own name in there, and you can find everything that you've ever made yourself, which is handy if you've got objects in your inventory that are just called object. That gives you a chance to root those out compared to just other objects that are just objects. It also helps if somebody's made you something that was a memento, something they've given to you, a card, something like that, on a prim. It gives you a chance to find that and make sure that you don't lose it. You put somewhere special to keep for the future. Now, inventory looks like this. Seriously hot mess. You just don't even want to. That's my shame right now. Usually every year, just before hair fair, I scoop it all up and throw it in a folder and put the year on it and say, okay, I'll get to it. And after about 4 of those folders in my inventory, I just sort of gave up. Okay, so you've got your inventory, your recent, and your worn tabs, and they show you everything that's going on there. The customs features, or the filter features, they have them on all. So this is why it's really, really useful to use this. I tend to live out of my recents folder. Don't generally spend a lot of time in the main inventory. It's all about the recents. Because of that, I actually set, today I changed this just for this tutorial. The recents filters looks like this, or the filters looks like this, since log off. So this is what's happened since I logged off. I've come in, I unpacked these things to put together my very gorgeous outfit, and that's all that's showing there at the moment. That's not how my normal everyday SL is. My normal SL looks something like this. Yeah, I do a lot in 2 weeks. No kidding. It's like, seriously. Let's just pretend that it's not that much. So, okay, in the last 5 days, that's still a lot of stuff. So yeah, it's a lot. Okay, so as you can see, you can do this. You can do it by hours as well. So say you logged in and you want to just see, for instance, say you went on an event splurge and you just want to sort of check out everything that you got in the last couple of hours, or days. Now, this helped me a lot. The other day, I knew I'd been to Shootopia, I knew I'd bought a whole lot of shoes, and so I wanted to find them. Now, because some come in folders, some come in boxes, my objects folder was not going to be the place to look for that. So what I did was I went to my recents tab, I went back as far as the event, and I was able to find the shoes that I wanted. So what you can do is search within that time span. So for instance, in the last 2 weeks, I've bought things from for instance, Atomic. I blogged their hair the other day that I bought at the the secret hideout. So there, it brings up Atomic, and as you can see, I was able to bring up the store name. Or I could type hair, and it would show me all the hair that I've gotten in the last. I like hair. Hair is pretty. If you want to fine tune it further, you can go ahead and do something like this. You can filter it down. So it's only going to show those things, and you're like, oh my goodness, why is all these things in here? That's crazy, right? That's a lot of stuff. And if you expand on that, there you go. There you see them. Every single note card and script and landmark is right there. And then you can get rid of them much quicker. Really, really important note here. Don't ever, when you're filtering, shift, select, and delete. We all learnt this really long time ago. Everybody was deleting their folders by accident. Was that if you, for instance, do this, shift, and this, and get rid of it, you're not just getting rid of those ones there. You're actually getting rid of every single landmark between that. So, for instance, if you were to do let's see if we've got any. Okay, for instance here, so these boots, if I was to shift select this and delete, it wouldn't just get rid of the note card and the landmark, it would get rid of everything else that was in between there in the folder. So this is where control is your friend. Control select, control select, control select, and then bye. And that's how it will go. If you want to put them all back on, it's just a quick click of the button. If you need to show only items that are transfers, say you've gone to gacha lately, and if you resell your gachas, I personally don't do that, but if you do, you can, no judgment, it's just that I don't have time and I like all the things that I buy. If you want to work out what you've gotten in gacha lately, you can do that as well. That of course will also show all that, the landmarks as well, but you can uncheck those so it will only show you, for instance, objects that you want to see. So those are the items that I have that are transferable. Again, you also have, oh, this is the other really cool thing. One of my friends, Go from Juicy Bomb, has a tendency to delete anything that's more than a certain time period old, whereas Whimsy and I like to be, well, Whimsy herself calls herself this, she calls herself a walking Second Life museum, but we don't get rid of older things because, as I always say, everything old is new to somebody. But if you turn around and wanted to just get rid of everything you've ever owned before 2009 or before Mesh, if you're older than Mesh. Mesh has been around since 2011, which is quite shocking now. You can actually do the math and be older than however many years. So say you don't want anything that's older than the last 2 years, you would do older than 730 days. And then everything that shows is older than that. You would do that in your main inventory. That's the quick thing for that. What I wanted to show too is people don't realize that you can use search to fine tune. So you could search, for instance, Glamour Fair. So you've got Glamour Fair. This stuff's very old, so it doesn't really count. So you've got a lot of Glamour Fair there. And then you want to show only the tones you wear. So Jamaica is the tone that I wear, so therefore everything there is going to be in the Jamaica tone. But say you want your appliers for your body. Well, you get a third option. So you've got these here. Wear it, apply it. You can do the same for replacing that word with the hands applier because they have them separately. or the feet apply because they have them separately. So it makes it much faster to just snap those in there like that. If you start doing things like, for instance, if a hair store was to call their hair ponytails, or say you were looking for a bun in black, well, there you go. Anything that contains the word bun or black. Look, I can have a bunny mask. I didn't know I had a bunny mask. See what happens? See how you find things? It's exciting. So I just kind of wanted to show that there are ways to actually go further in your inventory than just the cumbersome ways. It is exhausting. I know a few bloggers have been Facebooking that they're sorting their inventory in the different ways they're doing it. Sid Sinister is doing hers at the moment. Anya Oh My is like an inventory sorting legend. And yeah, so if that helps anybody find anything, I'm glad I could help. Thanks so much for listening, and I'm Sasy Scarborough of sassypants.com, and I hope you enjoyed my mini tutorial on inventory stuff.